Lightning Lane Challenge time. There are 11 lightning lanes in EPCOT. Can I get them all in one day? Let's find out. Lightning lanes are queue lines that help you skip the standby line in Disney World and can help you skip long lines in favor of lines that can take just a few minutes. There are two ways to access lightning lanes. First is with Lightning Lane Multipass, the service that has replaced Genie Plus. It is a one-purchase pass that lets you skip the line at most rides in Disney World. To do so, you book lightning lane times and can hold up to 3 lightning lane reservations at any time. These are offered for a day-based and park-based fee, and you purchase the option for your first park of the day. Lightning Lane Single Pass is a one-ride a la carte selection for the most popular attractions in Disney World. These are also offered on a date-based fee and a ride-based fee. You can purchase lightning lanes before heading to the park 7 days in advance for the length of trip if you are a resort guest, and 3 days in advance if you are not a resort guest. When you purchase, you'll be able to book your first 3 lightning lanes for the day. To learn more, you can check out my full crash course video to learn everything there is to know in just 15 minutes. But also today, I'm going to show you a lot of my top lightning lane tips, how to get the most bang for your buck, and we're going to find out if it's even worth it to pay for lightning lane in this park. Now, before we get started, let's talk about what I was able to get in advance. So in advance, you can book 1 Tier 1 lightning lane and 2 in the rest of the tiers. So for my Tier 1, I went for Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. This is what you should do too. Remy's will go faster than the other options on pretty much every day we've seen. So Remy's is a great one to prioritize. I went ahead and I grabbed Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. And then for my other 2, I actually went for the least popular attractions to try to get the earliest lightning lanes I could. I ended up with Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival and the Seas with Nemo and Friends. Now, I had to do some finagling with my lightning lanes to get them as early as I wanted. The system knows what your plans are, so it tries to give you lightning lanes that make sense for your plans. For me, it kept giving me afternoon lightning lanes, so I went and made my reservation to EPCOT, which I hadn't done, and it started giving me earlier options. And then from there, it was kind of finagling what the earliest options I could get were. I didn't touch my Remy's. I'm not willing to risk that Remy's Ratatouille Adventure lightning lane, so instead, I was kind of messing around, seeing what the earliest I could get for all of my other lightning lanes were. And then it was time to wait 3 days and head to the park. But I was able to get some better times after I initially booked. So I highly recommend, after you've booked, going and messing around with the times a little bit to see if you can modify to something that works a little bit better for your plans. I certainly could. And with that, I guess I'll meet you guys at rope drop. See you then. All right, it is just after rope drop. I'm finding out some interesting things this morning. So my plan was to see if right when we got into the park, we could modify our Tier 2 lightning lanes to be Tier 1. So in each park, when you book in advance, you can only book 1 out of the Tier 1 group. In this park, that's Remy's, Frozen Ever After, Soarin', and Test Track. So I booked Remy's because I know that's going to be the hardest one to get today, so I just wanted to make sure I had it locked in. And now, I would love to be able to book Frozen Ever After. So I was thinking, maybe once we're not in advance anymore, once we're scanned into the park, we'll be able to modify some of those lower options to be Frozen Ever After. No such luck. Tried to modify the Seas with Nemo and Friends to be Frozen Ever After, and it still told me I already had a selection from that group. So I'm now thinking you have to use your first lightning lane for it to no longer be in advance and for you to be able to book those Tier 1s. So I'm headed to my first lightning lane. It is Pixar Short Film Festival. And as soon as we skate in there, I'm going to try to swap my other 2 lightning lanes for some Tier 1 attractions to make sure we get all of those big rides out of the way. Our first lightning lane of the day is here at Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival. I got my 3D glasses, and now I'm going to try to book Frozen Ever After. Confirmed. You have to use your first lightning lane. So Pixar Short Film Festival is a really cute little 4D, 3D show that shows off some Pixar shorts. They do change every once in a while, but there are some super adorable ones in here, and you can actually film the theater because it's just Pixar shorts. You can check them out on Disney+. I love Pixar shorts. They're super nostalgic. I think my all-time favorite is For the Birds, or Birds on a Wire. Whatever it's called, that one's my all-time favorite. I love that one. My brother and I also really liked Boundin' when we were a kid with the jackalope, which, a hot take, I think. But yeah, Pixar Short Film Festival, definitely not what you typically want to rope drop unless you're doing a weird lightning lane challenge like I am. Still a super fun show and one that is great to get out of the heat in the middle of the day. It's about 18 minutes long, so it will eat a good portion of your day, but fun. Here's the ones they show. My favorite that they show right now is Piper, because I love that little bird. So while I was in there, I went ahead and booked our next lightning lanes. I snagged Frozen Ever After, of course, because as soon as I scanned in, I was able to book my tier 1s. So I just went ahead and booked the other 2 tier 1s. With Frozen, times were all the way down out to 5:30 p.m. Still grabbed it because I cannot risk not getting Frozen today. So our big goal is going to be to modify that Frozen a bit earlier. But we have Remy's not till 6:45. So I'm not going to say it's a bad strategy to go ahead and first thing in the morning book some evening ones and then just leave yourself one lightning lane to mess around with for the rest of the day, just getting one at a time. If I can't modify Frozen earlier, that's going to be the world we're in, is that we just have the one freed up lightning lane because Remy and Frozen are holding the other 2. And that's okay because I am going to be able to do a lot of damage with that one freed up lightning lane. So I'm headed into the land pavilion now for my next lightning lane. This is another tier 1, the final tier 1 actually, because Test Track is currently closed for refurbishment. So we are headed to Soarin' Around the World. Now on a typical day, your best option is going to be to rope drop one of these 3 rides, Frozen, Soarin', or Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, first thing in the morning to make sure you get them out of the way. But with Lightning Lane, you don't really have to, because if you have those Lightning Lanes booked for later, you're kind of set on them, so you can sleep in or just kind of mosey in, get some breakfast, which is what I really like about using Lightning Lane Multipass. Now in this video, we're really pushing Multipass to its limits. We're gonna get everything that we can today in EPCOT. It's also gonna be a ton of tips to maximizing the service. But if you want to see an updated perfect day, how to have the perfect day in EPCOT with Multipass, that is coming to the channel soon as well. Soarin' Around the World is a simulator attraction that takes you soaring around the world. It's supposed to simulate an airplane flight or a hang gliding ride, and it takes you over iconic destinations like the Egyptian pyramids, the Eiffel Tower, the Taj Mahal. It is a beautiful ride. It has smells. I absolutely love it. It's only a 5-minute wait that we're skipping here, but still gonna be able to book our next lightning lane. As soon as you scan, you can book a new one. Some attractions have double scans, and it does vary because sometimes attractions that have double scans will close their second scans. Honestly, the easiest way to do that is just while you're walking to the next one, go ahead and check if you can book or not. All right, the one thing that's worrying me right now is Mission Space is all the way down at 4:30 p.m. And I am a little worried about that because I'm not willing to lock up another of my lightning lanes that long. So I'm gonna wait to book it, but if it books up, we could be in trouble. As you can see up here, Soarin' actually does have its little lane things closed at the top, but sometimes they could be working. So the best thing to do is to just check as soon as you scan the first one. 10 out of 10 experience as always. I love that ride. It is so relaxing, so beautiful. It's a nice breeze. There's beautiful smells. I just love it. My favorite scene is the islands where you can smell Fiji, I think it is, and you can see the rowers. And there's stingrays in the ocean if you look closely right when the scene starts. That is my favorite scene. I wanted to get Living with the Land just so we could kind of exit the land pavilion and not have to worry about coming back in here, but it's a full hour out from now. So instead I grabbed the Seas with Nemo and Friends, which is right now. So we can go do that one and then grab Living with the Land. The Seas with Nemo and Friends is a slow-moving dark ride attraction where you ride in a clamshell into a retelling of the story of Finding Nemo. It is a very sweet ride. I do not consider it a must-do unless you've got some Finding Nemo loving kiddos. Like me, I'm a Finding Nemo loving kiddo. So we're gonna hop on this one. The best part about this ride is it does end with views into the actual aquarium and then lets you off into the actual aquarium. I do really like that ride. It is not the best dark ride, but it is really sweet. And I love seeing the aquarium at the end on the actual ride. That's just really cool. Now, I did originally book Living with the Land like I said I was going to, but then I noticed that Spaceship Earth had a lightning lane for 10:30, which is right now. So that's not too far. So I figure we'll hop right over there and grab Spaceship Earth, and then we'll get Living with the Land. Mission Space continues to make me nervous with its lightning lanes all the way down at like 6:30 p.m. now, so I am scared of that one, but we're gonna fight that battle when it comes. I cannot do this challenge if I lock up all 3 of my lightning lanes with these evening ones, so we're just gonna keep going, and we might have to get a little lucky later. All right, bit of a long line for Spaceship Earth. I actually think, yeah, 25 minutes. We're gonna get a good line skip in here, and then head on in to our, what attraction are we on? Our 4th of the day? It's not even 2 hours into the park day. Woo.
The time machine is rotating backward for your return to Earth.
Thanks to you, the color of the future is green. You can live the good life and the green life.
When I say spaceship, you say Earth. Spaceship. Spaceship. Got off Spaceship Earth. Now, that ride is pretty long, so it set us up just in time to head to Living with the Land. So that's where we're gonna go. I went out the wrong side. I'm gonna walk through the inside. It's too hot out here to walk outside. Back through Project Tomorrow. I can never remember the right way to walk in here. I have to like think about it, and if I don't think hard enough about it, then it just doesn't work. But we're heading to Living with the Land as our next lightning lane. We got one for 11:15, so headed that way. So far on a saving time in line perspective, because remember, we are also testing if it's even worth it to buy lightning lane in EPCOT. So far, kind of okay. Basically, we skipped a 0-minute line for Pixar Short Film Festival. We skipped a 5-minute line for Soarin'. We skipped a 10-minute line for Finding Nemo, and we have skipped a 25-minute line for Spaceship Earth. So our biggest was for Spaceship Earth so far. But I think we're gonna have the big line skips later with Frozen and Remy. But still, hey, keep in mind how little time we're skipping here as we start to think about, is it even worth it to do the lightning lane spend here in EPCOT? For all lightning lanes, there is a 5-minute early grace window. So if you're 5 minutes early, you can scan it. And then there is a 15-minute late grace period. So up until 15 minutes late, you can scan it. Now, even if you're more than that late, you may want to run over and see if you can scan in, just because cast members might be able to let you. They might not be able to, so definitely do not put the pressure on them to be able to do it. But we are headed to Living with the Land, a boat ride. This is a very popular ride, but it has a very high capacity. So it tends to not have a super long wait, where you ride through the greenhouses of EPCOT, the real greenhouses, where they actually grow food that you can actually eat here in the Land Pavilion. And you also get to learn a lot about sustainable farming techniques. I absolutely love this one. I think this is a delightful ride. Okay, so I'm trying to get Turtle Talk with Crush right now. There was a 12.50 available, but I hadn't quite been able to scan it yet. So I did miss it. Somebody else got that one. I just went. Great, thank you. So I'm just trying to see if it pops back up. Sometimes you'll see people grab stuff and then change their mind. So if you ever see a good time, you might want to stay in this screen, this little selection save for 5 minutes screen. This screen is awesome because it lets you, it keeps that time that you snagged locked in. So I have 2:20, no one's taken that from me, but I can keep hitting this close and modify time button for the next 5 minutes in the hopes that 12:30 pops back up, or any other time. Excellent news today. So I obviously scanned into Living with the Land. I was planning on grabbing, I wasn't 100% sure, but I was planning on grabbing that good Turtle Talk with Crush that I saw. And then I missed it. So I was like, I guess I'll get Journey into Imagination, because that one has been about an hour out all morning, and I might be able to modify it to be even less than that. I opened the modification screen, and I saw a mission space for 12:05. So my fears are allayed, because I know that we'll be able to get mission space at 12:05, which is in about 30 minutes, actually exactly 30 minutes. So we can scan it in 25 minutes. I think finally it might be time for us to grab some provisions. I need a coffee. All right, I went to Connections Cafe, which is right here. Excuse my water bottle, which is this park Starbucks location. I grabbed this non-dairy vanilla sweet cream cold brew, which is a new thing they're doing. I don't know that they could always make this, because I think they have a non-dairy cream substitute now. Regardless, I'm very happy with this. It is delicious. It tastes a little different than the sweet cream cold brew, but I like it just as much, and I desperately need to not drink dairy. Good for me. Now, it's 11:52, which means I can scan in at mission space behind me in 8 minutes. So I'm gonna start heading that way. And I don't have enough time to drink my coffee really. I'm just doing too good on the lightning lanes. But maybe I'll delay a bit. I don't know, because I need to book my next lane. I guess I'm chugging this. Mission space. Woo! This is a simulator attraction. There's actually two versions of this ride. There is the orange Mars mission and the green Earth mission. The orange Mars mission is the original version of this ride. It is more intense. For either version of this ride, you are in kind of a small contained area, so not great if you have claustrophobia. For the orange mission, there's also intense G-forces. It is spinning, but it does make it feel like you are launching into space, intense G-forces. The ride was developed in cahoots with NASA astronauts who commented that this was one of the most similar experiences they'd ever had to going to actual space. Now, there is only one lightning lane for mission space, but you will be able to scan into either green or orange. So you can, even if you want to ride the green mission, you can over on the green mission. The orange mission tends to have a longer line. Right now it is marked as a 15-minute wait. Honestly, it looks a little longer to me. And I'm gonna go ahead and book my next one. I think probably now is the time we are gonna end up with Journey into Imagination or Turtle Talk with Crush. This is for Sage. Yeah.
All you have to do is fire the second stage and deploy the shields.
All good for launch. Stage separation. Now. Computer override initiated. 0G confirmed. Rise and shine. Let's go, team. We've got a problem.
All right, we are off mission space. I don't know if it was a good idea to chug an entire coffee and then ride mission space orange, but I did it, and now I'm feeling the consequences. All right, Journey into Imagination with Figment. I absolutely love this ride. It's very nostalgic for me. This one's kind of a controversial one because Journey into Imagination with Figment is actually the third iteration of this ride. The first iteration was beloved, much loved, and they did change it into a version that was widely hated, and then they changed it into this version, which is kind of in the middle. This version does not have the iconic Dreamfinder character from the original version, which is what a lot of folks miss. Very nostalgic from the 1980s. But this version is the version that I grew up with, so it does have a lot of nostalgia for me because this is the one that I grew up coming to Disney World and seeing. So I love Figment, I love Dr. Nigel Channing, and I love all the weirdness and wackiness of this ride. It is a must-do in my opinion, especially because you can typically get on it with a shorter wait. Right now it's a posted 15-minute wait, but you'll see this drop pretty low early in the morning and late at night.
It's about listening with your imagination.
Now I've completely lost my train of thought.
No, you haven't. It's over here. Sure, you can see with your eyes, but imagine what you could see if you used your imagination. You said it, Doc. Imagination is a blast.
All right, I am off Journey to Imagination with Figment, and I did grab my Turtle Talk with Crush lightning lane. It's for about an hour, a little more than an hour from now. It's for just after 2, it's 12:40 right now. So I've got some downtime here, but I have all my lightning lanes. I have Remy and I have Frozen already, and that Turtle Talk has been set in stone, which means by 12:30, I had every single lightning lane in this park. At this point, I could refresh for better times if I wanted to, but frankly, if you're spending the entire day in Epcot, I don't think you should. You have now ridden pretty much everything, and now would be the perfect time to check out World Showcase, eat, ride some rides that do not require lightning lane, re-ride some of your favorites that have shorter waits that you already rode with lightning lane. There's just a lot of opportunity now that we've already done that. Go see American Adventure, you know, take a nap in there. There's just a lot that you can do. So I'm gonna idly check for better times throughout the day, but mostly, I think this video is gonna turn into a bit of a perfect day because that is what lightning lane has let us do. Emma is currently filming a video. She's over at the boardwalk right now. She doesn't feel good. She thinks she has a migraine coming on. She doesn't have any medicine. So we're going to her rescue because that's what friends do. I am headed over to the Odyssey to the First Aid Center. I know you're like, how do you kill times between lightning lanes? Bring your friend medicine is what I'm doing. But we're to the First Aid Center. To find it in Epcot, you want to head towards the Odyssey building, which is this building on the water right here. It's pretty centrally located between the former Future World and World Showcase, so pretty easy to find. And then around on the right side of the building, we'll find First Aid. There you can get a bunch of little single dosages of medicine, so they can give you headache medicine. I've gotten antacids there, which have been a real lifesaver. But it is a wonderful amenity. If you're not feeling well, go to First Aid, let them know what's going on, and they will let you know if they can help you. Even if you're dehydrated, even if you just need to get out of the heat, that is what that service is there for. And most of the services they offer are free. The single dosages are free. So when in doubt, head to First Aid. Dose of ibuprofen acquired for Emma. Another big tip is that there is a water bottle refill in First Aid, and it's good. Like, the water tastes good. It's a cool refill, so I pop in there a lot just to refill my water bottle. If you feel like you've had enough water in Disney World, you probably haven't. It is so hot, especially in the summer. You are walking so much, and staying hydrated is kind of a catch-up game constantly. It's almost impossible to drink enough water. You can find the water bottle refill stations in the My Disney Experience app. So just search water bottle refill. You'll be able to see them on the map, find the nearest ones to you. On my way to go rescue Emma, I did stop by Twining's Tea Caddy right here behind me because I haven't eaten yet, and I grabbed this yummy honeycomb candy, which I've never had. It's smothered in dark orange Belgian chocolate. That sounds delicious, so I'm gonna eat this. This is delicious. This is like those chocolate Christmas oranges in another form. But warning, it's already melting in the heat. So if you want to buy to take home, buy at the end of the night.
Now if you're going just for the boat ride, it's going to be a 1-hour round trip. Sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. Boardwalk in just a few minutes.
A very easy 3-minute boat ride over to the boardwalk saved us some steps. Basically, the way the boats work is that they take all the hotel stops. They go Epcot, Boardwalk, Yacht and Beach, Swan, Dolphin, Swan Reserve, and then Hollywood Studios. And then on the way back, they go to Hollywood Studios, Swan, Dolphin, Swan Reserve, Yacht Beach, Boardwalk, Epcot. So Boardwalk is actually kind of the best spot for going to Epcot and the worst spot for going to and from Hollywood Studios. Now let's find our little Emma. I find Emma. Rescue mission complete. I'm like the Shrek and you're Fiona. Just fought a dragon. And by that I mean I took a 3-minute boat ride. Okay, I am back. Emma ended up not getting any better, so I was walking her out to make sure that she made it to her car because she's calling it a day so that she can go home and feel better. So we are headed to our Lightning Lane single pass reservation. Now, Lightning Lane single pass is separate from Lightning Lane multi-pass. So you do not have to buy multi-pass to buy single pass, but it is not included if you do buy multi-pass. And single pass is offered for those top tier, most popular attractions in Disney World. In Epcot's case, that's Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. So 3 days ago, when I did wake up and buy our Lightning Lanes, I did go ahead and purchase the single pass for Guardians. I was able to get a 2 p.m., which is a little later than that now, but headed over to that one. The bad thing about single pass is you have to pay separately for it. So if you are doing multi-pass, it is a double spend. The good thing about single pass is it doesn't have any effect on your other Lightning Lanes. You can stack it on top of other Lightning Lanes in advance. You can have it at the same time that you have 3 other Lightning Lanes for multi-pass, so you can have 4 at a time, which I have for much of today. So makes it pretty easy to navigate. And in fact, I might recommend just getting the single pass in certain parks. Animal Kingdom for sure is one that historically I would say if you just get Flight of Passage, you're in business to not wait in any long lines. In Epcot, I think it's up in the air because Remy's and Frozen do tend to keep pretty long lines. And Guardians of the Galaxy, you can actually get on with the virtual queue. So unless you want to ride it twice, as long as you use that virtual queue, you can still ride this with a relatively short wait. So kind of up in the air. We'll decide in the scope of the rest of our day if single pass is worth it and if multi-pass is worth it. But Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is the newest roller coaster in Disney World. It is a Guardians of the Galaxy themed coaster, and it's called an Omni coaster in that it kind of whips you around 360 degrees while you ride it. There are 6 different songs that can play while you ride. And you can always hope for your favorite. My favorite is Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Lots of people like September. We're just gonna go ahead and scan into our lightning lane and then see what song we get. The other thing about single pass is once you use it, you do not get to book another lightning lane. It's just you pay once, you get to skip that one line kind of thing. So even though I just scanned, we will not be jumping to book another lightning lane right now because we've still got all 3 booked up with Turtle Talk, Remy's, and Frozen.
Wait, whoa. We didn't even know there was a test.
Right, I'm off Guardians. That was a blast. I go one way or another, which is not my favorite, but I still really like it. So, super fun. Feel a little woozy. All right, we are back at the Seas with Nemo and Friends. A fun fact is that if you do not want to ride the ride and just want to head into the sea base, the aquarium, you can just go around to this pathway to the left without riding. And that's how you can check out the aquarium, second largest in the United States behind Atlanta. There's a store in here, playground, and they do have Turtle Talk with Crush. Turtle Talk with Crush is an interactive attraction where you head in and you actually talk to Crush. You go in, all the kiddos get invited down front, and then you get to talk to Crush. He's awesome, the sea turtle, so cool. Makes jokes that the parents will laugh at too. Definitely a more kid-geared attraction, and it is one of the ones that I just never really did when I used to come to Disney for fun. I think it's worth doing at least once. It's really cool technology, but it's definitely not a must-do. Great that there is a lightning lane though, because it just kind of guarantees that you're set to get into the next show, which is awesome.
That was an hour here. Double. Crisscross. Awesome. Look at all the humans in the human tank. You so totally rock.
Dude. That was awesome. A kid asked Crush to name all of his kids, and he named all 65 kids. It was crazy. The names went on forever. Only 2 lightning lanes left, Frozen and Remy. All right, I think it's officially lunchtime, and we might try to get a better Remy or Frozen time just while we're eating, because in my experience using Lightning Lane Multipass, the 2 hours between 2 and 4 p.m. are when most people kind of change their plans for the day. So that kind of window is when you might find lightning lanes that have been gone all day, because people who thought they were going to be in EPCOT this evening have decided to hop to Magic Kingdom, or maybe they've decided to go back to the hotel and go somewhere else later. You just never know, so now is a great time to start refreshing again. For lunch, I'm doing Sunshine Seasons. I don't know what I want though. I might do the salmon. My timing is bad. It's 4 right now, and that is when they pull the Sunshine Seasons bar until I think a little later they open it back up for dinner. But that's really what I wanted, and I can't get it, which is a bummer. So I guess I'll go to Connections Cafe and I'll mobile order for it so we don't have to wait once we get over there. But big sad for me. That's what I get for lightning laning too hard and waiting too long for lunch. Yeah, Sunshine Seasons is breakfast until 10:30 and then lunch until 4, and then it's just snack from 4 to 8. Grab and go stuff. You can still find dinner options in there from 4 to 8, but I'm hungrier than that. So to Connections it is. All right, it's about time for Frozen Ever After, so I am heading that way. A bit of a walk from Connections Cafe, but not too bad. Should be just about time for us to scan in by the time we get there. I did spend some time during lunch/dinner refreshing my Remy's Factory Lightning Lane to see if I could get a little bit earlier of a time, to no avail. It's still gonna be 6:45 for us, but that's not too shabby. So we are heading on over to Frozen and then to Remy's, and we will have done every lightning lane in EPCOT. Hello, Norway. Long line for Frozen right now. 15-minute posted wait, but the line is well outside. Still, 50 is not too bad for Frozen. Honestly, I would wait that for this ride, but we don't have to, because we've been holding on to this lightning lane since early this morning, and finally it is time to use it. Whew. We're in.
Anna saved her sister with an unselfish act of true love and full of frozen heart.
Oh, and you're their best friend.
was super fun. That's one of my favorite rides. It makes me feel like a little kid again every time I ride it. And it makes me think of some of the amazing international experiences I've had because I've been to Frozen Lands in Hong Kong and Tokyo. I am very, very lucky to have done so, and so I really love that ride. It means a lot to me. But we are now gonna, I think, stroll towards France. We've got an hour until our lightning lane. Like I said, she's not budging. I'm not really worried about it. I think I'm gonna get dessert. So, hi! So we'll get my favorite EPCOT dessert, which is on the way there. We'll stroll there kind of slowly and wrap up a beautiful day. It is pretzel bread pudding from Germany. This is probably my favorite dessert, quick service dessert in Disney World. It's warm and they put icing and caramel on it and it's delicious. I came to America to eat it because there's a lot of seating here and there was none in Germany. So good. I've got like 40 minutes till my lightning lane, so I'm gonna sit and enjoy this and then stroll that way, and then it'll be about time. Kind of ideal. We've made it to the France Pavilion, headed back towards Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. This attraction is still only a couple of years old and features kind of bringing you into the story via rat that you ride. Ratatouille, Remy's story in the kitchens. It's really fun. You get to explore kind of the Gusteau's kitchens, the walls of Gusteau's, and even Remy's rat-sized restaurant. It is still a very, very popular attraction. You will see hour-plus long lines typically. It's a 45-minute wait right now, which is a dip for it, but still worth skipping. 45 minutes is a long time. This one is also going to be the first to go when you book a lightning lane. Also, since we are kind of at the end of our day, a fun tidbit about lightning lane is when you buy lightning lane multipass, you do get access to your attraction photos. So you will get free digital downloads included. Even if you don't feel like riding Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, I do recommend strolling back here. The theming is awesome. Done. A delightful ride. I feel like I really focused on the smells that time. Usually I can't smell the food that much, but that time ain't good. But that's it. We did every single lightning lane in EPCOT in just one day. In fact, we had them all locked down by 12:30. Wow. So is the lightning lane worth it in EPCOT? My recommendation would be to skip it. I think that this part can be done with good strategy without lightning lane. We will have updated perfect days without paying to skip the lines coming out soon, but most of the lines I skipped were pretty short already, and even the longer ones I skipped can be knocked out by getting here first thing in the morning or waiting to ride them a little later, or just grabbing yourself a drink and hanging out in one longer line. The only thing that I think you might want to consider when purchasing a skip the line option for EPCOT is Lightning Lane Single Pass for Guardians of the Galaxy. And I would consider purchasing this if you are interested in riding the ride twice, because the only way to ride it twice is to do both the virtual queue and Lightning Lane Single Pass. Or if you wake up and you try to get that virtual queue at the 7 a.m. drop and you miss it and you just want to be 100% sure that you're going to be able to ride Guardians, you could go ahead and go buy that Lightning Lane Single Pass. Remember, you do have 2 chances on the virtual queue at 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. And if you are really focused and get on right at 7, right at 1, I think you'll get a virtual queue. My trick is to watch a clock, literally count down the seconds and refresh right at 7 a.m. And knock on wood, but I have never not gotten a virtual queue that I'm going for by doing that. But I hope this video made using Lightning Lane Multipass just a little bit clearer and gave you some tips to help you when you're here in Disney World. If you liked it, go ahead and like and subscribe. And now go watch my full Lightning Lane video from day 1 of the new service. I'll see you there.